Jon Stewart, the acclaimed comedian, writer, and political commentator, shocked fans and media insiders alike when he abruptly departed The Daily Show in early 2024, just months after making a highly anticipated return to the iconic desk he once made legendary. His decision to leave wasn't announced with the usual fanfare or farewell montage. He simply didn't return after a scheduled hiatus, prompting speculation and concern. Eventually, it was confirmed, Jon Stewart, at 61 years old, had left The Daily Show again, and this time, the reasons behind his exit were as complex as they were significant. Initially, Stewart's return in 2023 had been heralded as a cultural reset. With a chaotic political landscape and growing public distrust in traditional media, fans felt his voice was needed more than ever. For the first few episodes, his monologues hit hard, his interviews were sharp, and he brought the same moral clarity that once earned him the unofficial title of America's most trusted newsman. However, insiders say it didn't take long for tensions to brew behind the scenes. One major source of friction was creative control. Stewart had returned under a different production arrangement than before, and reports suggest that network executives had more influence over editorial decisions than he was comfortable with. According to several people close to the show, Stewart was frustrated by attempts to tone down his criticism of certain political and corporate entities, particularly those tied to network advertisers or parent companies. Stewart, known for his fierce independence and willingness to challenge any power structure, reportedly clashed with executives during editorial meetings, especially when topics involved tech monopolies, Middle East politics, or controversial figures across the political spectrum. Another key factor was Stewart's dissatisfaction with the broader media environment. In his absence, the media landscape had changed drastically. Social media outrage cycles, hyperpartisan echo chambers, and an increasing emphasis on viral soundbites over nuanced discussion left Stewart feeling out of step. He had hoped The Daily Show could serve as a remedy to the noise, providing thoughtful, critical commentary rooted in humor, but came to believe that even satire was being swallowed by the same system it was trying to critique. His mental and emotional well-being also reportedly played a role. Stewart has been open in the past about the toll that hosting The Daily Show took on him, especially during the tumultuous post-9/11 years and throughout the Bush and Obama administrations. The intense preparation required for each episode, combined with the pressure to comment meaningfully on an ever-worsening political climate, had always been taxing. At 61, the grind was even harder to bear. Friends close to him say that he often voiced concerns about spending his remaining creative years locked in a routine that, while important, left him feeling burned out and disillusioned. There was also a strong personal dimension to his decision. Stewart has always valued family and personal time, and sources say he had recently become more involved in activism, particularly around veterans issues, animal rights, and first responder health care, causes he's long supported. His increasing commitment to advocacy work may have made the day-to-day duties of a late-night host feel like a constraint rather than a platform. One friend described him as pulled between purpose and performance, feeling that his impact might now be greater outside the structure of nightly television. The moment that finally tipped the scales reportedly came during the planning of an episode focusing on the war in Gaza. Stewart had prepared a segment critical of both U.S. foreign policy and specific corporate sponsors of the network. According to sources, the segment was heavily edited or pulled altogether due to editorial concerns. Stewart, known for his strong moral compass, is said to have left the building that day and never came back. In the weeks following his departure, neither Stewart nor the network offered much in the way of public explanation. A brief statement from his representative confirmed that he would no longer be hosting, citing creative differences and a desire to pursue other projects. Stewart himself has remained largely silent, though he has made occasional appearances at advocacy events and quietly resumed work on a documentary about misinformation and media manipulation, which he had begun before returning to The Daily Show. For fans, his sudden departure was bittersweet. While many were disappointed not to see more of him behind the desk, others respected the integrity of his decision. Jon Stewart has always stood for principled satire and holding power accountable, values that ultimately made his exit not a failure, but a final, fitting act of defiance in a media world he helped shape, but never allowed to shape him.